Alright, hello, welcome to Ben's OP Game Show, recorded live. Very obviously, again, come early to see me be an idiot. For a brief moment, hum a couple Castlevania tunes. It's the normal summer routine. On this week's show, we're going to be talking about and reviewing single player and multiplayer separately from Star Wars Battlefront 2, a few other surprises in the middle, and a look at the post-game content for Mario Odyssey, which is quite substantial. But first, let's go right into Star Wars Battlefront 2. A little fancy transition. Not that fancy. Really not that fancy. So let's talk about the single player. This is not of the single player. Just deal with it. I'm not going to capture footage of every goddamn thing. So just... And the problem with the single player in this game is that it is so adequate. So just kind of there and meh, that I can really... I struggle to tell you anything super cool or major that even happened. And that's very bizarre. And what's even stranger to me is that I wasn't compelled to play it very much at all. I had to actively remind myself, oh, I want to finish this so I can kind of talk about it. And I do a couple missions and then just be pulled away by pretty much anything else in the game. And that's not to say that the single player is bad, because it isn't. It's just so okay. And it feels also like it's trying to be two very different things, because it has Iden Versio, who's part of the Empire, and her obvious switch over to the good side, the light side, not the dark side, but some side. But it has all that, and it's just kind of barely there. And then the other half of it is these little kind of strange fan fiction, power fantasy levels where you're playing as Luke or whoever. They're heroes that are in the game that you can play as in the multiplayer, and here they are in the single player. And I don't mind that. It's just, is there so little of it? And people saying that it's like 4 hours. It's probably a little bit more than that, but not much, just barely over that 3-4 hours. And it to have so little of it be like, oh, remember that cool moment? Like, no, I really don't. It was just kind of here and there and gone, and it never focused on any one thing for too long for me to be like, oh, that was really cool. Like, the one big takeaway, and to its credit actually, is there about half of it, maybe a little less, are the spaceship starfighter battles, which I think are excellent. I love that part of the game in the multiplayer, and we'll get to that in a minute, but for the single player, it kind of has that all the time. Like, oh, you're in the ship, and now you're in space, and then, oh, land on this other thing, and take out these generators, and then leave, and that's really cool stuff. And I see what they're trying to get to, and you can also kind of see how there's a lot of just writing and exposition left on the cutting room floor, where we'll never really know all these steps that built up to where Iden is or was or whatever, because it wouldn't make sense to kind of show it in a game like this. It's too, I guess, mainstream to have it. I don't know. It just feels very filleted. You're not getting the full experience that you could get. Yes, people outside talking. I can hear you. Thank you. They're excited about Star Wars. And the thing, too, the single player is what everyone was clamoring for. Ironically, John Boyega, who complained to Star Wars Battlefront that one tweet of like, where's the single player in this game? And they put in a single player, and he's not even in the game. Like, come on. He's the one who... It's ridiculous. But that's besides the point. This is what people wanted. More single player content. A Star Wars story single player. And they give you that. But I think they aimed really high, and they hit way below that. And I think they could have aimed way lower and done something more interesting and more fun. We have these missions, even where it's like defending Maz Kanata's castle, that aren't like iconic movie moments. I mean, it's something you remember from Force Awakens, but it's not iconic movie moments. It's not Hoth, right? But we have those maps in this game. And just playing that as in a single player level with story bits going on, reliving moments from all 20 movies or whatever it is at this point, That sounds almost just as interesting to me as a single player, especially when it starts doing these fan fiction-y things. Oh, here's Luke on this planet, and you're Luke now. I'm like, yeah, but I want to be Luke taking down the Death Star. I want to be Luke fighting Darth Vader. I don't want to be Luke with some weirdo you made up, right? And that's the kind of the difference here. And the other thing too is there's single player. You can play the matches against AI. I never did try that, but I did do the challenges, which are single player. Hey, Delphox. You can do these challenges, which are little challenges, haha, that is basically you or in a squad or just you against as a hero or as a normal soldier and beat 20 guys and as fast as you can, right? And that's so underwhelming. And it goes back to what I was saying about give me the Endor fight. Like there's a level on Endor. There's all these levels. There is a Hoth level. There is a Starkiller base level. Let me just play the movie loosely, and that's basically all you have to do. Let that be the single player, where I'm on Hoth as just a soldier, taking points and capturing bases and stuff. You could even have me die and I have to respawn as another character. That's totally cool, right? And then, let me get into a speedster and let me take out an AT-AT, which you can't do. Or can you do it? Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. I just never did it because I'm terrible. But you can do it. Let that be the single player. Either let that be the single player or don't have the single player be so gimped by your forced fan fiction nonsense being in it. You know, if the single player even had been 4 hours of Aiden's journey and it had started and ended in the same places, but there was just more stuff in it, it would have been a lot better. But we're left with some question marks and free DLC in the future, and I can't, as someone who is a big single player person who was playing this in a large part because like, oh, I'll get a good single player, to hear even before I played it that it wasn't very long and it wasn't that great was disheartening. And the only saving grace to that is that I did enjoy the rest of the game quite a bit. So that's all the single player. Giant shrug. Let's move on to multiplayer, which is seen here on Naboo. Again, another map we could have played in Singapore. It doesn't matter. I really... As much bizarro, not fun, the single player, and not that it's bad, but the single player is kind of it's uninspired or uninteresting. It's just not quite there. But with the multiplayer, when you're on Hoth and there is an AT-AT jumping around, well, he's not really jumping, and you're looking at snipers and you're hunting all around, there are so many great moments in the multiplayer, and it's a little convoluted at first to figure out like what class you want to be and all that, and I'm terrible. I'm straight up terrible at this game. Now I've gotten better than what you're going to see here. Still terrible, but I enjoyed it. I've never finished a match in the top people. I'm terrible, but I've pretty much 90% of the time had fun with the game. Star Wars, and I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, but having that setup, having these battles I've seen for years and years, basically my entire life, because I remember watching episode 1 when I was like 9 or something, and the other movies before that, even when I was even younger, it's so iconic and it's so much fun to defend these points in locations with characters, even just little minor assault droids. It's so much fun to be in that moment as those characters, to see someone sniping over there and like, I'm going to change my class and be an officer, and I'm going to buff these guys and we're going to run out. And I just got this new thing. I actually did this morning. I swapped out one of with the cards, the controversial cards. I swapped out my, I don't remember what I swapped out. Oh, the flash grenade. I swapped it out for a rocket launcher. So I'm a little officer man, like peering over the corner, firing, homing rocket. This is sign language for rocket launcher. And it's awesome. It is so much fun to just be goddamn cannon fodder in this world. I really, really liked it. And to go back to the cards and address that head on, the game, they took out the pay to win, whatever nonsense before it officially came out. So anyone who paid, and I played it the day it came out, that Friday morning, And there were people's like, oh, yeah, you clearly paid because there's no way you played 30 hours to unlock all this. So you played this before enough to get it or already have paid for it. But most people didn't. You can go online today, this morning, like I did, and you can play and be killed by a guy who has one card, right? Most people by now have at least one for every class. And you'll get killed by guys that have 3 cards. 7, I don't know why I said 7. But they probably have 7,000 cards. You can see the cards right here. And they actually changed the iconography from that to what it is now. But at the same time, you see a guy in a choke point, it doesn't matter what he's doing or how many cards he has. If those cards give him faster health regen or an improved grenade explosion radius, like, you can get around him, or you can just go somewhere else. The battles are so big, like, I'll just not deal with him, or I'll go in with a squad and I'll buff them, and you can get around it. The stat boosts, by and large, now there are some that are crazy, but by and large, they're very minute. So it might be like I said, the grenade radius is a little larger, and if you have that maxed out, you spent the currency or you got lucky in a loot box, it gets a little bigger, but it's like 20% bigger, 15% bigger. Most of these stat upgrades also, with the grenades, they affect things that are on a timer. So you throw a grenade and then you gotta wait 5 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever it is, to reuse the grenade, right? So it doesn't matter that they have a card that gives them super crazy badass grenades if they can only use it once and then they're just using a machine gun, the same machine gun you have, right? There are some skills, though, for certain classes and characters, a lot of them heroes, where it's like, oh, if you kill someone, you get health. And then that's where it kind of starts skewing the line. And we'll talk later, I guess, about what could have been done, or what could be done about this progression problem, because I love the game. I really do think it's a ton of fun. I played all the modes at least once. There's the objective-based mode, which I'm too terrible to really be of good help to the team, but it is pretty cool. There's like a team deathmatch style mode that actually is a lot of fun. Way more fun than I thought it'd be. But the default mode, which is this one, is a ton of fun. Even when losing, and I lose a lot because I'm terrible, just to participate in these battles that, like, oh, now they're taking the throne room, let's retreat. Now the battle, it was like Naboo is one of my favorite maps because it's in this huge battlefield, and then by the end, you're in close quarters and everyone's throwing grenades and setting up turrets and they got shields up, and this is so cool. I love that map. I love how much fun it is to just be on Naboo. How crazy is that? But before I get into the progression fixes and the problems, the Starfighter Assault mode, I think, is a joy. So this is the mode, I think it's 10v10 or 12v12, something like that. It's not 20v20. The main mode is 20v20. It'll have it right here. Don't do the battle scenarios, me in the video. Video me? Whatever. So it's 5 maps, attack and defend on each map, which is pretty typical. You kind of do that on all the maps. In space, on a planet, just flying around in ships, only ships. And it is a goddamn joy. I have so much fun with this mode. Dogfighting is exactly what I've always wanted. This is Star Fox Next Gen, not that shitty actual Star Fox game we got a year ago. It's so much fun. Like these giant star destroyers, and you're taking out turrets on them, and there's a couple missions where once it gets to the very end, you have to fly into it and shoot its core. And if you're defending, you're flying into it too and like shooting the other guys that are shooting it. And it's so cool to be flying and things are blowing up everywhere. It is goddamn amazing. I love that mode. You get to be like the Slave One, Millennium Falcon, all these cool ships, stupid Poe Dameron's TIE Fighter, who cares? Not TIE Fighter, X-Wing, who cares? So much fun. I love, love, love that mode. And the fact that I played, I guess minus the single player, close to 20 hours of this game multiplayer. And largely no hiccups. There was a couple matches that were laggy, but pretty flawless performance for everything. The game's stunningly gorgeous. It's so much fun to play. It's so much fun. I really liked it. I really liked it a lot. Now, there is a point to be made that if the microtransaction pay-to-win nonsense had been left in, would this still be fun? Would this have been the same game? And my answer to that is no. There's a couple changes they made along the way, right? So there was the whole hullabaloo about, oh, you have to play for 100 hours just to unlock Darth Vader? That's bullshit. And they scaled that back. 75% they scaled that back. Okay. That's a good first step. And then a couple days later, they got rid of the pay for credits and all that in the first place. So you can't even do that. Now that's an even better step. But here's the problem. And I appreciate what they were trying to go with. Like the idea of playing something for 60 hours and just unlocking something new at hour 60 is cool. That's what I remember liking so much about Smash Bros. Melee when I'd play it every day for weeks and weeks and weeks. And I'm like building up to get to 2,000 battles so that I can unlock a character. That was so much fun, right? And in these multiplayer environments where people are playing Overwatch for thousands of hours, it is nice to have an unlockable at the end of that. But the difference here is that you're not unlocking Darth Vader at that point. You would have had enough money to potentially have bought Darth Vader, which is a weird distinction. And I think if they just gave you Darth Vader after 50 matches or something, that would make a lot more sense than, 15,000 credits, which in my time playing the game, I probably earned 45,000? Maybe not. I maybe opened, not including daily crates, which are kind of full of trash. I opened 20 crates. There's some that you get from single player, but ones I bought with my own credits that I earned from playing the game, about 18, let's say, something like that. And I did get stuff. I did get that rocket launcher I mentioned earlier in, and I am pleased with that rocket launcher, but it's so slow. Progress is so damn slow, and that's the problem. If this had been pay to win or play for 20 hours and you have everything, or you can just pay X money to get it all right up front, that would have been okay, because I think playing something, especially a multiplayer game, how many games you're getting per hour or whatever, you're going to play it. Even someone like me played it for 20 hours, and I don't even really like multiplayer games. I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, right? So I played it for 20 hours, but by this point, I should be able to say, oh, my assault character, pretty baller, right? And I can't say that because the progression is so slow. And granted, I am terrible, so that's on me. If you got more than 3 or 4 or 5 kills a match, maybe you wouldn't be so terrible. I get a lot of assists. Okay, in my credit, I get a lot of assists. I think people are taking they're taking all my points, and they're using them, and that's great. But it could be me with those kills, right? It's not gonna be, but it could have been. Because there's goals like, I think it was 150 kills with the assault. I'm trying to remember. And then you get another weapon. And I'm trying the second weapon as the assault character. And it's like, okay, there's 3 unlockable attachments. What do you mean, yep? 3 unlockable attachments for that weapon. And like, you get 50 kills with this weapon. Get 100 kills. Get 500 kills with this weapon. Like, 500 kills with this weapon is going to take me 100 hours. Because I don't only play this class. Maybe I kill them with a grenade. And 3, terrible. So when am I ever going to get that? Like, the rewards and all this stuff. And there's 3 other weapons to unlock past that on the assault class. The basic grunt character that I will probably never see. I don't even know if the guns are better. Couldn't tell you, right? But that's not the point. The point is that it's so crazy how far away some of these goals feel, how slow to progress they feel to me. And even beyond that, like, okay, fine, I'm terrible. Normal person shouldn't take that long to unlock all these things with these weapons. Fine. But a normal person is still getting the same amount of credits as I would be. And you're not getting enough credits. And that goes back to, what are they going to do? Are they going to put the microtransactions back in and change the progression system? What does that mean? And that's I don't know. I feel like, this is just because I played a bunch of the game, I feel like I should get a certain amount of credits per match I played so that I can get thousands and thousands and then go back in and spend them and get a bunch more cards. But I think these cards, even the cards themselves, could have been implemented better. A lot of these matches are done in these multi-stage arenas. Take this objective, then take this next one, and then the final one. And they could have done it where when you start a match, none of your cards work, right? But as soon as phase 2 of the battle starts, your first card is go. And I think that would have changed the dynamic, because then you're like, okay, just the first card is go. Now it's the same as like MOBAs, right? You don't have your ult until you're level 10 or something, right? On purpose. But if you're starting the match with all these cards, it kind of gives you a weird advantage. But if it's on the second round, now everyone's first card is active. That's a different dynamic. And then on the final objective, all your cards are active. And then you got to start thinking of like, what's in my first card slot and all that. But the point still stands, even if that kind of fun mode would solve people's problems or not, the card progression is too slow and way too convoluted. You need to be getting so much more materials and credits and I forgot, weapon parts, I think it is. I don't even remember. They're just a little weird symbol. I don't remember what they are. Because you can use those weapon parts, I think they are, to upgrade these cars. You can just buy them outright with those points. And it's not very, very much to buy them initially, but then it's like, okay, 180 for this next upgrade, and then 250 or whatever for the next one. And if I was getting more points along the way, I'd be much more into it. I think that's the big thing. Is I don't know how much more I'm going to play of this game. Probably, oh, here's a new map. Here's a new character. I'll drop in, right? Here we fix the microtransactions. We're giving everyone 100 loot boxes. Okay, I'll log in and I'll get my super loot boxes. Fine. And I'll play a couple matches. I'll shoot a couple Star Destroyers. They add in the Death Star where I'm flying around the Death Star and I can go into the trenches. Yes, of course I'm there. Of course I'm there. But I don't know how much longer I'm there. And this is from someone who really did like the game quite a bit and feels a little bit bad for it. I think it's pretty solid. Now, granted, I don't play Overwatch. I don't really play a lot of shooters. So for me, I just kind of like the simple package of it all. And there's ships. It's a ton of fun. I think the whole pay to win, even with people who have really good cards now because they've played a bunch, is overblown. You can still win. I'm playing on PC, okay, with a controller. And I'm not doing that bad, okay? Sometimes I'm in the middle of this and I'm like looking at birds and shit. If you watch this gameplay, half of this gameplay is me looking at birds, which they patched out, by the way, because birds don't fucking despawn. So if I can do it against these obnoxious weirdos, I've gotten headshots, I've sniped guys, I've gotten to jump on 2 weirdos with a grenade. Stormtroopers, I guess you could call them technically. If I can do it, you can do it. You can fight up the guy with 3 cards. I mean, come on, it's just 3 cards. I think they should fix this. The cards are very wordy. The abilities are all very wordy. It needs to be plus 20% grenade damage. But instead it's like, this gives the assault officer an enhanced range of his grenade. And you're like, dude, I'm in the battle. Pick it up. That's how some of the cards are. And even when you're killed by someone, I want to know very quickly, like plus 20% health regen rate or something, right? On those cards. I need to see that. Like, well, that's what that person had. So you can't blame him, you know? Oh, his scan darts are upgraded? Well, his scan darts didn't kill you. Okay? Every assault character has a scan dart. So them being upgraded to be on for 5 more seconds isn't what killed you. Okay? He got the jump on you. He would have probably had the jump on you anyway. Some are bad. I will not disagree with that. Some are bad. That's Battlefront 2. I think that's sufficient. Oh, I look like I got a weird outline. Oh, no, it's just the map. I thought I had a fun outline. I don't got nothing. Any questions, Delphox? I don't think so. You watch me play enough of it. It's really fun. I think there's only one map I don't like, which is Kashyyyk. It's too big, and I'm not a good sniper, and I can't figure out what character I want to be as. The last match I did there was pretty good, though. As in, I didn't just die the whole time. If the best moments of every match I've ever had were strung together, I would be good. They're not. That is not how games work. So I'm bad. Very bad. I think I can prove that. I mean, look at this. Look at the birds, too. They're just flying all into sorts of nonsense. Anyway. Moving on. This next part should be very exciting for you, Delphox. So if you're paying attention, pay attention. Are you paying attention? I am. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-da-ba-da-ba. Yeah, you have 2 seconds to get ready. Someone just like scraped my window. I don't like it. No one makes noise, and then this one day of the week, noise day. Okay, so oddly enough, Star Wars Battlefront 2 got me thinking about Smash Brothers on the Switch and what I used to love about this franchise. The days I spent playing on 64 and feeling like, oh, you can unlock all these different like I didn't Ness. You can only get like, well, Ness wasn't unlocked. You understand. And Melee, a game I played every day for months, and knowing like, okay, to unlock Pichu, I need to do 500 battles, or I got to do this, and all these different ways, and this unlockable progression that in the Wii version and Smash 4 was not there. To me, the progression in Smash 4 was just so, oh, here's 20 characters, just like blow your load immediately. And then, oh, here's a character. It was unceremoniously given out. It's too much, too fast, to where you can't appreciate it. And what I always wanted, and I wanted this before even the Wii version came out, was a super obnoxious unlock strategy. So imagine this, right? You boot up the next Smash Bros. And it's, black screen, Nintendo, HAL, and then it's just a spotlight and spans out. There's Mario. Woohoo, right? Whatever, not like that. It does it a little more authentic. And it's Mario. And he's in the Mushroom Kingdom stage. And he's just walking around. There's nothing there. And you're walking around. And it's telling you, hey, use the control stick to move. Press this button to jump. And you're like, all right, I'm jumping. Hey, you can go through platforms if you press down and just jump on you. And it's teaching all the non-combat stuff. You can't even attack yet. And you're jumping around. And then it tells you, hey, walk over here. And you walk around the Mushroom Kingdom as Mario, just kind of having a fun little time. You get to the objective. Yeah, woohoo! And then a portal opens up. From the portal, Link falls through the portal, smashes into Mario, and then both of them are standing there. And then it's like, okay, here's the fighting controls, and you're fighting Link. And the game hasn't even started yet. You just popped it in for the first time. Now you're fighting Link, and it's easy because it's the tutorial, and it's just telling you like, hey, you could press A, but if you hold A and do smash attacks, like it's teaching you everything. Oh, here's what Mario's down B does. Like you can use it in the air, and it's different. Whatever. It's doing all that stuff. So you're fighting Link. Maybe for a little like the first couple stock or something is easy, and then he actually tries to fight you, right? And then you beat him, and then a little cutscene starts. And it's like, oh yeah? You think you won? Here's a Smash Ball. Link jumps up, gets the Smash Ball, kills Mario. Mario goes flying off the screen. Now you're playing as Link. Okay? And you get sucked through another portal. Okay? You crash through on another stage now. Now you're in Animal Crossing world. Captain Falcon crashes his car. He jumps out of the car. Olimar somehow appears out of nowhere. And then fight. And you fight them. And it doesn't matter if you win or you lose that match. You're just fighting these characters in Animal Crossing world. And you're just like, what the fuck's even going on? So as soon as the game ends, right? Maybe each character has 3 stock. Who cares? As soon as it's like, boosh, game, it ends. And it fades to black. And it goes, Super Smash Brothers. That's how you start the game. And then it says, hey, you unlocked versus. And here's the options. No, this isn't convoluted. Okay? It's very awesome because unlocking things are cool. And you even see things where it's like, hey, the online mode, this unlocks at 15 characters. You don't have enough characters, right? So the only thing you can do is go into versus mode. And you play versus mode and you see all these other maps you haven't been to yet. And everything is all blocked off. You can't get to it yet. But you play a match, you unlock another character. Here's Luigi. Challenger. Right? You're unlocking all this stuff. And you play 20 matches and now you have a bunch of stuff. But the point is that it gives you this appreciation. It like just dive bombs right into the nostalgia for Nintendo or for Smash itself of how it was to unlock these characters. I think you can hone back the roster to about 25 and make it memorable. Make it these events when it's like, oh shit, this character's happening? Yes, I'm all in. I can't believe they're doing this. I played the game for 30 hours and now I'm unlocking Piranha Plant or whatever. Yes, it's convoluted, but I think there's so many extra modes and options in Smash now that it is itself convoluted. So I think by sectioning it off, like, oh, you have to have 6 characters to unlock adventure mode. And then you can go into adventure mode and see where that goes from there. You beat that once, you unlock another character. Oh, and it'll tell you these things. I love the event grid, but tone it down a little bit and make it kind of like, here's 10 things you can do, right? And as you unlock one, another one pops in. And it'll say things like, hey, play this as Pikachu. You're like, okay, I'll play this as Pikachu. Not telling you that's going to unlock Jigglypuff. Stuff like that. I think it can have a lot more fun with itself without expanding the scope. Because there's always those leaked rosters that are so stupid. And so here's 60 characters. Even Smash 4 is too many. That's too many characters. Everyone picks on the Fire Emblem characters, but there are too many of them. There are too many just characters in general. It's spiraled out of control. It needs to come back to what it was. Back to Melee. With 4 different modes, right? Just normal fighting, adventure, break the targets. Board the platforms. You know what? Let's bring board the platforms back. I'm counting too many modes. And then the event match, whatever mode. It doesn't need this weird bizarre world mini games where you're collecting trophies. Like, it was so nice with what it had. I think we can go back there. Plus, don't tell me that opening wouldn't be fucking awesome. Okay? Don't tell me that opening of like, oh, I'm just Mario? That's so cool. Okay. No. They're right behind the line of too many. It's like 45 people. They need to cull the herd. Okay? And they need to bring in things that should have been in there a while ago, like Fierce Deity Link. Get rid of Young Link, or maybe keep Young Link, but put in Fierce Deity Link. Have fun with it. Majora's Mask Link is another example. You could even play as a Metroid. Figure it out. Okay, it's up to you. There's still too many clones. I think we can axe all the clones and we'll keep the clones, but just make them costumes. So have Fox and have Wolf. Put Crystal in. That's a character I want to see. But I'm thinking 30, 35 with DLC is enough. We got like 50, 70. That's the side point though, Delphox. The main point is unlocking things is awesome. And I want to do that all the time. And I think the super nostalgia goofy way is the way to do it. Because, man, I feel like I had Smash 4 for 2 days and I was like, oh, I have everything. Now what do I do? I don't know. Was it that great getting all the things? I love Smash, man. That's what I want from it. That's what this needs to be. No, this Smash plays your favorite game characters fighting against all those characters. Yeah, I can choose random and play as a character without an issue. No, it's okay. We can disagree about the characters. The point is more about unlocking them and reveling in the nostalgia for it. Having more fun with that. As opposed to, here's 20... How many characters does Smash 4 start with? Because it's got to be 25? And that's way too high. I'd almost rather you start as Mario and then you go... It's like, oh, I want Zelda characters. So I'm going to go over here and fight them in these series of duels to unlock them. And maybe I just want a better single player mode that's just more into unlocking things. Because even in Smash 4, the single player stuff, I'm not into. This is why I'm hoping the Switch doesn't get a port of Smash 4, but it gets a port of Melee. Oh man, that's what we need. Or just GameCube Melee. Online Melee? Whew. That's what we need. That is what we need right now. Do it, Nintendo. You have their number, right, Delphox? You gonna get on the phone and talk to them? That's not how that works? No? Well, that should be how it works. I mean, that seems to make the most sense to me. I don't know. I thought it was a good idea. My uncle works at Nintendo. Oh, you're the worst. The computers just beat each other up. Alright. That's my pitch. Let me know. Come on. Someone else, someone random on YouTube will find this and will be in my corner. Not you, though. It won't be you. Clearly. Clearly won't be you. I really forgot what I was doing for like a good 10 seconds. Just brain aneurysm. I don't know. Where am I? I just like the idea of having a bunch of characters. Yeah. So sticking on the Nintendo theme, let's talk about Mario Odyssey and the post-game, the infamous post-game content, of which there is a lot. But I think that's a bit of a misnomer from a lot of... If you listen to anything from IGN, Kinda Funny, doesn't matter, GameSpot, doesn't matter. You're going to hear them say, like, oh, there's so much stuff that unlocks after you beat the game. And that's true. But I feel it's being a little hyperbolic because I beat the game with what? 400? Close to 400 moons? You know, I unlocked the darkest side of the moon right away. I didn't need anything else. And then there's a good 60 moons that are just achievements along the way. And not only that, I feel like I could have gone back earlier than I did and got a lot of these moons. So the point is, there's maybe a third of the game that's actual post-game with the blocks that open up new things. And I'm being mean because it's just as good as the main campaign, if not better in certain respects. A lot of these challenges are so... I'm dying. Good. They toy with the ideas that the main game had, but they take them further. It gets more difficult. It adds in Yoshi. Spoilers. Which I think was a fantastic addition. I've never liked Yoshi that much. This is best Yoshi. Hands down. He's still kind of a garbage monster, but best Yoshi. And it's only fitting that the best Yoshi is a Yoshi being controlled by Mario. and not ridden by Mario, under the care. No, you are Mario Moshi. And I particularly enjoyed it. A lot of these challenges you can find in the game, and then you do them again in the harder versions where they take away your hat, some of which are crazy obnoxious. But I did go through all of them. I will admit I turned assist mode on for the final gauntlet thing just because I didn't care. I just don't. I'm not going to spend hours or even 30 minutes on something anymore. I just let me finish your stupid game. Why do you have to have the final level be so much harder than everything else? I get it's a challenge, but no, I don't care. I just don't care. It's the same thing that happened, and I brought this up because I streamed the end of it. Only for the one challenge did I do that. But it's Mario 3D World. To unlock the final challenge in that game, you had to finish each level with every character. So obviously I did it as Mario the first time through. So I went back through as Luigi, a Toad, Peach, and Rosalina. But I just played it as one person, got to the very end, and had a bunch of controllers around me, and pressed all the buttons on all the controllers to turn those characters on, and had them all at the same time jump to the flagpole. I did that for every single level in Mario 3D World. And my reward was a level so annoying that I tried it 3 times and just said, nah, I don't want to do this. That was my reward. Thanks, Nintendo. So I appreciate assist mode, seeing as I don't have a lot of time. I do not want to sit there and do all this. So the final level is really cool, but it's, I don't know, kind of unnecessary. The rest of the game, man, it's all about the journey and seeing how you got there, and all these optional stars, all these Koopa races, which I didn't do till the end game, I had a lot of fun with. It teaches you a lot of mechanics that you didn't have at the beginning. And it's rare to have a game have so much content. I know I criticized it for having a lot of stuff. I didn't like the final. Yeah, I liked it, and once I turned it on assist mode. I know I criticized it for not having a ton of post-game content, as people are saying, but it does have a lot. Considering, I guess it could be viewed as the stuff that the game doesn't require you to do is 80% of the game. Like, you can beat Bowser and have 700 plus moons to still get, like, some crazy high number, probably like 650 you still need to get. And there are so many everywhere, all over the damn place. And I love finding them. Even hours and hours and hours and hours into the game. Now, it does get a little obnoxious when you're trying to find these puzzle clues and you're using the parrot to give you clues. That's a little not great. It's really vague. And you can use Amiibo, of which I have too many, to kind of like, hey, give me the actual, give me some deets on this, man. I don't need these weird things. But I loved how every single door had an optional moon in it. Once you beat the game, the hat boy, Cappy, the hat boy, he starts telling you, oh, we've been here before, but I think there's a moon. Or, there's no moons, but I think there's purple coins. Like, that's really cool. I loved finding all the purple coins. I did, again, I don't got time for all this. So I got a Bowser amiibo. I don't even remember buying it, but I got a Bowser amiibo. So a couple of the coins I did, it's like, I don't care. Tell me where they are. And I think that's fun and that's fine. That's an example of difficulty that's appropriate. Of, oh, you don't want to waste your time? Just do this. Here you go. Not, here's $5. Now, granted, I did buy this amiibo, but I don't remember buying it. So that's different. I think. I'm realizing there's really no point to even talking about this. The game's great. I already said the game was great. You can be a cactus? Does that help? I don't know. Post-game's great. The game still becomes great. A little more annoying than the main game. I will say that. And it's not one of those things. I'm glad to be done, I guess is how I'll put it. I'm glad to not have any more Mario. You know, I saw the hat ending thing with 999 moons. I don't need any more. DLC, maybe I'll play some DLC, but I think this was enough Mario, and it's a little bittersweet when you finish. Almost said bitter words. Bittersweet. I almost said bittersweet, and that was what I was trying to say before the other thing. It's enough Mario for now, and I think the big thing is this game or Zelda for Switch. Like, what's the best Switch game? And to me, I don't even know if I could pick either, to tell you the truth. Although I definitely could pick the one where I messed up the video. Let's pick that one. Put me on the spot. I think Mario. I think it's Mario, but I think you should play Zelda. Zelda's probably too big. It is too big, man. I played the game for a month and it's like it's like 120 hours. If you want to try and do most things. I didn't do everything. I basically did everything except for the Korok seeds. But for something like this, oh yeah, you are the bigger Mario fan. I'm the bigger Zelda fan. That's true. But I think this encapsulated what Mario is better than what Breath of the Wild did for Zelda. This is exactly what I'd want from a Mario game, and it did creative, fun, awesome things with it, with the capture abilities and with how it kind of changed things up, like I was saying, with 2 moons in every secret corridor, having all those secret corridors everywhere, having moons everywhere, giving you that reward constantly. It's great. There's no stumbling block. I think there are very few problems and weird things. There were 2 moons in particular that I'd say, and you couldn't even use assist mode on those moons, FYI. But there were 2 moons in particular I almost quit, almost gave up on them. They were on the moon, the darker side, the dark side, one of the sides of the moon that I almost gave up on because it's just obnoxious and annoying. But besides that, like 2 levels out of 800 weird challenges that I can even remember being obnoxious, they do a phenomenal job of balance and keeping the difficulty like level and ramping and not obnoxious and crazy. Sorry, Mario Rabbids, with your stupid difficulty spikes. So yeah, I guess this is just to say, Mario Odyssey, still good. You can go and play it, and even if you have to use a guide and look up, where's this painting telling me to do? Still a ton of fun. Still a total blast. I do think it's a bit stupid how kind of slow the teleporting is. And like, oh, throw the moons in. Do you want to teleport? Yes. Here's a menu. Oh my gosh. Which moons were they? Oh, they were the ones on the Dark Moon. The one where they were both no-cap moons. Wait. Well, one of them... Well, at least one of them was a no-cap moon, where the bullet bills are flying to hit the stuff. And then the other one was... It was a challenge you did in New Donk City on the car, but they got rid of the car. Bonsai Bill and Roadrunning. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, they're pretty fairly notorious, I would say, as the really hard ones in the game. I heard at least one other person specifically say the one where you're rolling and the platforms are just falling behind you. That took me half an hour at least to get down, and then I had to do it again because I got the one for finishing it, but I didn't get the one. I wasn't in time to get the optional one, so I had to do it again. The other one, I was able to get both of those in one go. Yeah, those were something. It was funny too because I turned assist mode on. I'm like, I don't even know what this mode does. So let me turn it on and try it for the Bonsai Bill one. And it's like, oh, it just restarts the level anyway. So what's the fucking point? So I had to turn the mode back off. But doing that, you get your coins back. Because if you died a bunch of times, just I guess you could just exit the game, but you could turn it to assist mode, then turn it back from assist mode. You'll have all those coins and you'll still be where you were because it doesn't save every time you die. So if you're losing coins, that's a pro tip. I don't know if anyone wanted a pro tip, but there you go. There's your pro tip. But that's it. I think that's it for Mario Odyssey. Great game. Really good game. There's a lot of great games this year, and I want to start kind of going back and playing some of the other ones I played earlier in the year. That's why I'm excited for Resident Evil 7's DLC. I'm going to dip back into that. And I want to play Prey a little bit again. See what's up. But besides that, here's Mario. He doesn't have a hat. His hat's all broken. These hat people don't make sense. I do this show every Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/GameFanatics. Next week is, I don't know, I might talk about Animal Crossing. Fuck the Brutals. We already talked about them. I might talk about Animal Crossing Pocket Camp if I ever play it. Otherwise, it will be maybe... Well, I was playing something. I don't know. I don't remember. I bought Persona 5, and I'm like 50 minutes into it. I want to play more of that tonight. So that's what I'm doing. Maybe some early Persona stuff. Maybe Shadow of War. Maybe nothing. Maybe the whole show will just be complaining about the Brutals again. Maybe Star Wars Battlefront will fuck something up, and I'll have to talk about that for 30 minutes. Who knows? But the year needs to end. Too many games. I've bought too many things. Too much. Out of control. Thanks for hanging out, though. Merry Christmas. It's that time of year. I should have worn the hat. Hat. Oh my god, it's like fuzzies falling off of it everywhere. Never mind. No hat. Hat's over.